All right, so today we're tackling something that can be a little bit intimidating, let's be honest. Taxes in Spain,
Especially
especially for digital nomads.
as a digital nomad.
It can feel kind of overwhelming. I know, but don't worry.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for, right?
That's right.
To break it down.
Absolutely.
So we're diving deep into this podcast episode called Navigating Taxes as a Digital Nomad in Spain, Essential Guide for 2024.
Okay.
From a show called Remote Life in Spain.
Okay.
They had this guest, Irene Martí. She's an immigration attorney.
Oh, wow.
Based in Barcelona.
Yeah.
And she specializes in this, like, this is her thing.
All right.
So
I like it.
whether you're thinking about just a quick trip or, maybe settling in for a bit, we're going to get you up to speed on all the need to knows.
Yeah. And you know what really caught my eye?
How's that?
This thing called the Beckham Law.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds almost too good to be true. So
All right.
we're going to break that down, figure out how it works if it applies to you. And, we'll also dig into some common pitfalls that can kind of up your chances of getting audited.
Oh, yeah. Nobody wants that.
No. And of course, how to avoid them.
Okay, so that Beckham Law thing is definitely intriguing.
Yeah.
But let's start with the basics.
Okay.
Irene really stresses this, that it's so important to understand your tax residency status.
Right. And that's because it determines how Spain taxes you.
Exactly.
It all boils down to this 183-day rule.
Okay.
You spend more than 183 days in Spain in a year. You're considered a tax resident.
Gotcha.
And it's important to note, it doesn't have to be 183 days all at once.
Oh, really?
All those little trips, those all add up.
Oh, wow. So you got to keep track.
You got to really keep track of your travel dates.
Okay, so if you do hit that, you become a tax resident.
Right.
What does that actually mean? Like, what changes?
Well, basically, it means Spain's going to tax you on your worldwide income.
Oh, wow.
Not just the money you earn while you're physically in Spain.
Okay.
Which is a big difference, if you're just getting taxed on income earned in the country.
Right.
So it's definitely something to think about when you're planning your finances.
Yeah, for sure.
Big picture stuff.
All right, that makes sense. Now, let's talk about the specific taxes, because I know they have a whole different set of terms in Spain.
Exactly, they do. And the main one for residents is called Impuesto sobre la Renta de las Personas Físicas, or IRPF.
IRPF.
Okay.
I'll write this down.
Think of it like income tax, but with a Spanish twist.
Okay.
It works on the sliding scale, so the percentage you pay depends on how much you earn. It can range anywhere from 19% all the way up to 47%.
Whoa, that's a big range.
It is.
So let's say just, for example, I made like 50,000 euros in a year. What tax bracket would I fall into?
So for that income level, you'd be looking at the 24% bracket for the IRPF.
Okay, that's good to know, 24%. All right.
Yeah.
Now, Irene also mentioned something called a wealth tax.
Yeah, that's Impuesto sobre el Patrimonio.
Okay, another one to write down.
It kicks in if you have what they consider substantial assets, which essentially means your net worth is over a certain amount.
Okay.
We'll get into the specifics a little later.
Yeah, so it sounds like something to be aware of if you're, really thinking about settling down, maybe buying property in Spain.
Yeah, if you're putting down roots, for sure.
Right. Okay. And then there was this term, autonomos.
Right. Autonomos, that's what they call freelancers or self-employed people.
Okay.
They have their own whole set of rules, and they pay monthly Social Security contributions.
Gotcha. So lots to think about depending on how you work and how long you're planning to stay.
Exactly.
Now, what if you're only in Spain for a shorter trip, less than those 183 days?
Then you're considered a non-resident.
Okay.
And the tax situation is a bit simpler.
Okay, good.
You only pay taxes on income that you earn within Spain.
Mm-hmm.
The rates are 24% for general income and 19% for income from savings.
So even if you're not a resident, if you do any work or earn any money while you're in Spain, you still have to file taxes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, and this is where it gets interesting, there's this special rule called the Beckham Law.
Okay, let's talk about that Beckham Law. I'm so curious.
Right.
How does this work?
Well, it's designed to attract foreign professionals to Spain.
Okay.
And basically, under certain conditions, it lets you be taxed as a non-resident.
So wait.
Meaning only on that Spanish-sourced income?
Even if you stay longer than 183 days?
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
It's pretty great.
So you could potentially live in Spain longer.
Yeah.
And still get that lower tax rate.
That's the idea.
And how long does this last?
This can last for up to 6 years.
6 years?
6 years.
Wow, that's incredible. I'm guessing there are some catches though, right?
Well, of course, there are certain requirements you need to meet, like
Right.
what you do for work, your employment status, and how much you earn. It's not a free pass for everyone.
Right. So who exactly qualifies for this Beckham Law wonder?
Okay, so one key requirement is that your work has to be done for a company or client outside of Spain. You can't be employed by a Spanish company,
Gotcha.
and you can't have been a tax resident in Spain within the last 5 years.
Oh, so you really got to be a true digital nomad working for clients or companies located somewhere else.
Exactly.
Not just like pretending.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, and there's an income requirement.
There is. To qualify, your annual income needs to be above a certain threshold, which they adjust each year.
Okay.
Last year, it was around 60,000 euros.
Okay, so it's not just about staying under that 183 days. You got to meet these specific criteria to like unlock the Beckham Law benefits.
Yeah, you got to tick all the boxes.
Okay, and if you do...
If you do qualify, it can be a huge advantage.
Yeah, especially if you're thinking about staying in Spain for a while.
Yeah, for a good chunk of time.
You get that lower tax rate.
And there's even a chance you could get a reduced flat tax rate.
Oh, wow.
Of 24% on your Spanish income.
That's amazing.
It's pretty sweet.
So if you're a digital nomad making, good money and looking to spend a few years in Spain, this Beckham Law seems like something you really need to look into.
Absolutely. It's worth investigating for sure.
Okay, we'll talk about the process of applying for it a little bit later, but first, let's get back to the basics of filing your taxes in Spain.
Okay.
Irene had some great tips for making it a little easier, less stressful.
Less stressful taxes. I like the sound of that.
Right. Who doesn't?
Everybody does.
So it sounds like getting organized is key, especially when you're dealing with taxes in a foreign country.
Absolutely.
Irene mentioned this thing called a digital certificate, right?
Yes. The Certificado Digital.
Okay.
It's like your digital ID.
Okay.
For all things tax related in Spain.
Gotcha.
You need it for filing online, signing documents, pretty much everything.
Okay, so where do you even get one of these?
All right, so it's a bit of a process, but Irene breaks it down.
Okay.
You got to apply online through this website called the FNMT website. Then you have to go in person to a designated office to verify your identity.
Okay.
It might sound like kind of a pain,
Yeah.
but trust me, it's a lifesaver in the long run.
So a little upfront effort
Yeah.
for a lot of convenience later.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that. So once you have that digital certificate, what's next?
Then you're going to want to get familiar with the Agencia Tributaria's Renta web portal.
Right.
That's the online platform where you actually file your taxes.
And is it user-friendly?
It's actually gotten a lot better in recent years.
Okay, good.
They've been modernizing it.
Okay.
And while it's still all in Spanish,
Right.
it's pretty intuitive to navigate,
Okay,
even
yeah.
if you don't speak Spanish fluently.
That's good.
Irene suggests just spending some time on the portal before the filing deadline just to get comfortable
Okay,
with
yeah.
the layout, the features, all that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Speaking of deadlines, when is tax season in Spain?
Mark your calendars for June 30th.
Okay.
That's the deadline to file your tax returns every year.
June 30th, all right.
No extensions.
Gotcha.
So don't procrastinate.
So no putting it off to the last minute.
Nope.
And what about record keeping?
Oh, super important.
What do we need to hold on to?
Everything. Everything.
Seriously, keep all your income and expense records, invoices, receipts, bank statements, the whole shebang.
Wow. Okay.
It's crucial for filing accurately,
Great.
and it can seriously save you if you ever get audited.
Okay, speaking of audits,
Yeah.
this is what I'm kind of scared of. What are the chances of actually getting audited?
So Irene says they're not super common,
Okay.
especially if you're keeping good records and filing honestly.
Okay.
But the Spanish tax authorities can review returns for up to 4 years.
4 years. Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's always best to be prepared.
So transparency and accuracy are key.
Exactly, no funny business.
Right. Okay, so speaking of transparency, let's circle back to the Beckham Law
Okay.
and how to actually apply for this thing, because it's not automatic, right?
Right, it's not automatic. There's some steps involved.
Well, you have to submit a specific application form,
Got it.
Model 149,
Model 149.
to the Spanish tax authorities
Mhm.
before the start of the tax year you want it to apply to.
Oh, so you got to plan ahead.
Yeah, you got to plan ahead,
Okay.
get everything in order well in advance.
So if you're thinking about moving to Spain and, you think you might qualify for the Beckham Law, it's not something you can decide on at the last minute.
No, you really got to do your research. Gather all the necessary documents
Mhm.
and potentially even talk to a tax advisor
Okay.
to make sure you meet all the requirements.
Yeah, it sounds like having a tax expert in your corner
Right.
would be super valuable,
Oh, absolutely.
especially navigating a foreign tax system.
Yeah, they can help make sure you're dotting all your I's and crossing your T's,
Right.
which can give you huge peace of mind.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Let's do a quick recap of the key takeaways for our listeners,
Right.
especially those digital nomads who are, dreaming of a Spanish adventure.
Yeah, let's do it.
First and foremost, that 183-day rule.
Yes, the magic number.
It's the magic number that determines your tax residency status.
Right. And that has big implications.
Big implications for how you're taxed.
For sure.
So if you're a resident, you're taxed on all your income no matter where it's earned.
Right.
And you got to familiarize yourself with those Spanish tax terms like IRPF and the wealth tax.
Yes.
And then for those shorter stays as a non-resident, you're only taxed on income earned within Spain.
Exactly.
But even as a non-resident, you still need to file those taxes if you have any income made there.
Right.
And don't forget about that awesome Beckham Law.
Yes, the Beckham Law.
If you're planning a longer stay in Spain and you meet the criteria, it could really be a game changer
A game changer.
in your tax situation.
It could be.
So it's definitely worth looking into.
Absolutely.
All right, and then let's talk about those practical tips.
Yeah.
From Irene, getting that digital certificate,
Yeah.
getting acquainted with a Renta web portal. Those are at the top of the list.
Top of the list for sure.
And of course, honesty is the best policy when it comes to taxes.
Yeah.
Transparency and accuracy are your best defense.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, so we've armed our listeners with a wealth of information
We have.
about navigating the Spanish tax landscape, but we want to leave you with one final thought.
Ooh, I like it.
Remember that every digital nomad situation is unique.
Mm-hmm.
As you plan your time in Spain, think about what questions this raises for your specific circumstances.
Right, good point.
Do you have any specific income sources or investments that might affect your tax obligations?
Right. Are there any special deductions or credits you might be eligible for?
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's worth taking the time to really personalize this information,
Yeah.
See how it applies to you.
And if it all starts to feel a bit too complicated, don't hesitate to reach out to a tax professional
Yes.
who specializes in working with digital nomads. They can give you that tailored advice.
Yeah.
Help you strategize, and just make sure you're taking advantage of every opportunity
Right.
to optimize your tax situation.
Yeah, you want that peace of mind.
Exactly.
Knowing you're handling things correctly so you
Yeah.
can really embrace that Spanish adventure.
Nobody wants to be, stressing about taxes
Yeah.
while trying to enjoy the beaches and the tapas.
Exactly. And, staying on top of your taxes just means more time
Yeah.
to explore and relax
Yeah.
and soak up all those amazing things that Spain has to offer.
So there you have it.
There you go.
We went from feeling overwhelmed to feeling equipped.
I love it.
All thanks to the insights from Irene Martí
Yeah, she's great.
on remote life in Spain.
Absolutely.
Remember, knowledge is power.
It is.
And now you've got the knowledge to navigate the Spanish tax landscape
That's right.
with confidence.
You got this.
All right, so happy travels,
Happy travels.
and may your digital nomad journey in Spain be filled with sunshine adventure. And, of course, tax tranquility.
Tax tranquility. Love it.